Stay tuned for gel printing with Twine. Welcome back, friends. If you haven't been here before, I am Susan Clifton. I'm a mixed media artist in South Florida. So today, here I'm in my studio, and I bought some of this. They actually call this floral twine. I got it at the dollar store. So they had two different sizes. I really like this big thick one. I don't know how well it's going to do on the plate. And then the normal size. And the reason why I like this is because of all these little hairs that are coming off. You know, the irregularity of it is what I really like. So, and I think it's going to give me very similar results that I had with the rubber bands. So that's what I'm going to go for. I'm going to do both deli papers and rice paper. So the deli paper is going to pick up that initial paint, leaving me a ghost of the twine. And then we're going to pick that up with rice paper. So let's stop talking and let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to start with some Payne's Gray. And I like to brayer it out pretty thin. And this is the twine that actually was holding it all in place with the cardboard. I like that little knot, so I kept it. And this is the thicker twine. And like I said, it was in the dollar store. They were calling it floral twine. And I'm picking up with deli paper. I like these really contrasty deli papers. They're great for overlaying in collage. But then again, the ghost print that it leaves is a beautiful, detailed print of the twine. This is yellow oxide. It's going to be my second layer. So I'm going to be doing multiple layers with a single pull. But I'm getting 2 sheets of paper because I'm picking up with the deli. And this was also at the dollar store. It was a roll of this, and it was also meant for, I guess, wrapping around flowers or something. And I'm just going to imprint it a little bit. I'm not pressing too hard, just to sort of use it as a stamp to get a little bit of texture. Now I'm going to use some Alizarin Crimson, and hopefully that will show through what I just did, those little marks. It'll be subtle. And now I'm picking up with rice paper. Now usually at this stage you have to wait a little bit. So sometimes I just, set a timer for 2-3 minutes. I'm using mostly fluid acrylics here, so I only probably need 2 minutes. Other paints that are thicker, creamier, I should say, might need a little longer. I don't think I left this long enough, so I got a lot of grunge around the edges. But actually I like that rough edge, so it's fine. The Payne's Gray turned very dark, almost black. So now we're going to do another. This one's with Quinacridone Magenta. And I'm just going to use the smaller twine this time. So you really want to get into those little nooks and crannies there. You really want to make sure you get it all. And the deli paper picked up all the grunge, so that was good. Not all of it, but a lot of it. Now I'm using Hansa yellow. And we're going to do some stamping here in a minute. So these are stamps I got at Michael's. Somebody said in my comments, they said that it's in the pottery department. I really honestly cannot tell you. It just happened to be, I always like wander the store and find things. And it was a long time ago, so I didn't really make note of it. Anyway, a little bit of cobalt blue hopefully will show through the stamp. I think this might be an interesting color combination. It's a very bright blue. So in this case, on this one, I decided to leave it a little longer. So I used my hand a little bit to sort of press it into the paper, and then I left it for a couple of minutes. And that picked up all the grunge as well. I really like that print. So as you could see, this is the matching deli paper. And I really love all that detail. Okay, so in this next one, I'm starting with Payne's Gray again. And in each case, I'm going to try to play with color a little bit differently than I normally do. I'm continuing to expand my color horizon. And I'm only using the thinner twine this time. The big thick one is not as interesting to me. So I'm not sure I use it again in this session. But I love some of these deli papers that come out as a result of this. So that's leaving a nice impression, and I'm going to try to pick this up. Well, I'm going to do multiple layers, but here I'm mixing some Quinacridone Nickel Azo Gold along with, I think that's what this is, pretty sure, along with the Hansa yellow. And I don't like to mix it like perfectly. I like it to be a little splotchy and have a sort of a variation. Now I'm just using my brayer to make those marks, and I'm using a stamp. So now we're going to use teal. Now, these are colors that I would never have put together before, but the teal isn't going to show, or at least I'm thinking it's not going to show as much. And then I'm going to put a little bit of alizarin crimson on the side. Again, this is not a color combination I would have ever done in the past. And this is my final layer that I'm going to pick up with. And I think in this particular case, I decided to leave it to dry for 3 minutes. So after it's dry, I pick it up and I get a really good pickup on this one. And I love how that teal looks. It's just that subtle little bit of teal peeking through. And those colors on the adding the alizarin crimson on the side, when it mixed with the nickel azo gold and the yellow, it's just gorgeous. Okay, so on this next one, we're going to go with the Phtalo blue green shade. And it's a very nice dark blue that's also a little bit transparent. Over the years, it's been one of my favorite colors, especially when you mix it with white. So I'm being kind of random with my string, but at the same time making sure that I have a decent composition. And where they overlap is a little tricky. You really got to get in there with your fingers. I mean, if you don't, that's okay, but I just think it comes out a little bit better. It's a very nice imprint. So now we're going with the Nickel Azo Gold and the yellow Hansa Yellow again. I like those two when you try to mix them together, but you don't mix them too well. I do like the way they look. So I'm going to use my stamps. So I'm also waiting in between each layer to make sure that they're fully dry before I put the next color on. So this is a Quinacridone Magenta. And we want to do that so that we're not mixing our colors together. So that's a green gold that I'm putting in the middle. I'm just trying to blend it a little bit. And then we're going to just pick it up. So we're just having the 2 layers here. Or was it 3? I don't know, lost count. Lost count on that one. And we lost some paint, it stuck to the plate, but I really love that organic edge. That will come in handy for a future collage. So instead of starting dark this time, I'm starting light with and opaque. So I don't know what that's going to do. Probably I wasn't thinking clearly, but teal is very opaque. So let's see what happens. Or maybe I was just thinking I wanted some deli paper with the teal. Not really sure, but actually it might be good, because if I'm just left with a very opaque imprint of the teal, why not? That'll work. So I'd also picked up all of that grunge that I left on the previous one. Okay, so now we're putting down some Hansa Yellow, and again our Nickel Azo Gold. And so I also picked these up at the dollar store. They're, I guess, maybe for scrapbooking or something, but I thought they could be used as stamps. They were painted on one side. They had more of a glossy finish, and they were rough cardboard on the other side. I think the underside that was rough and not painted did not pick up as well as the painted side, or vice versa. I'm not really sure, but I thought, let's use it as a stamp. It works. Anyway, I'm using Pyrrole orange along with some Alizarin crimson. And I know it looks like I didn't wait for it to dry in between, but trust me, it was dry. Like I said, the fluid does dry fast, so sometimes it looks like I'm not even waiting for it to dry, but if you don't wait for it to dry, you're going to have a mess. So I'm waiting 3 minutes. Yeah, trust me on that. I waited 3 minutes. And now we're we picked up some grunge that was on the plate, which makes the print more interesting. I love that dark color along the edges. And orange and blue, they always look good together. Okay, so now we're back to Payne's Gray. My first layer. I am really loving these deli papers. Probably have way too many of them at this point. So I waited for it to dry a little bit, and now I'm laying down some Hansa yellow. My little brayer sheet off on the right is starting to look good. Anyway, I'm using my little leaf stamps again. Okay, so it's the underside that picks up really well. That last one I didn't flip over, and so now I have to make note of that. I might actually like mount them onto a board so that it's easy to use as a stamp. So I'm also using these little spiral stamps that I have. They're just little wood carved things that I got on Amazon. And they're not really meant for this purpose, but they work great. I hope they don't get ruined with all the paint. And so now I'm using my orange again, my Pyrrole orange. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Really would love to know. But I think that's going to be a beautiful combination. And I'm waiting 3 minutes for this to dry. Not bad. Okay, so more Payne's Gray. Okay, so on this last one, I'm just going to speed it up a little bit. This is my very last one. And we're going to use some Hansa yellow, and we're going to use a bunch of stamps. This is one that I cut out of a trivet. I'll try to find the link for these wooden blocks that I got from Amazon. They are really cool. And so this is some alizarin crimson, which should contrast nicely with the yellow. And we're just going to pick that up now. Let it dry for about 3 minutes. As you can see, my hands get very dirty during this process. And that came out really nice. We got a few little divots there. I don't know what was causing that, but it's probably little paint was stuck on the plate. Okay, so here are some of my prints. So I really do love the deli paper ones. And this was the actual result from the lift of the deli paper. Like the color combination there. I like that little bit of teal peeking through. So this is the one that had the big, it was the only one that I did with the thick twine. It made a good print. Not a great print, but it's a pretty good print. This one I didn't show you because it was kind of boring. I only did the I only did deli papers with it. I felt like it was not worthy of becoming a real print. I could probably use those in some collage, but I definitely love my deli papers. This transparency is going to look great over another print as I'm doing a collage. And I love all those little hairs, the little details. And I love how on the rice paper print we got some beautiful color that blended. And this, of course, is my Phtalo blue deli paper, which really darkened as well when you put the other colors on top of it. Almost looks black. And my teal deli paper, of course, with a little bit of black grunge. That was a little surprising. I'm liking this. Didn't think I was going to like it, but I do. And so these last two, they're okay. I mean, they'll make great collage paper. Pieces of it will. And that's what this is all about for me anyway. I know some people do gel printing for, perfect compositions. There's some great artists out there that really plan their jelly prints and make them, works of art, but I'm doing this for collage paper. So that one right there is one of my favorites that has the teal and the green gold in the middle that I just pushed to the side for now. I think I pulled it out because it was one of my favorites. But here I want to show you how the transparency of the deli paper, especially after you put some gel medium on it, will really become very transparent and show the other one underneath. And these could even be turned around and put on top of each other. So I think, that these are going to be very useful for collage in the near future. Very near future. Yeah, so that one's definitely my favorite right there. I keep covering it up, but because right now I'm playing with it, I'm looking to see, how these deli papers are going to look on top of other prints. So of the entire session, that one that's underneath, the full color one, is my favorite. As predicted, I did get results very similar to the rubber band. And in this case, though, there was more texture because rubber bands don't have little hairs coming off of them. So I liked that roughness of the twine, especially the big thick one, but actually the smaller one did give me better prints. But we don't know these things until we try. So today was a great experiment. I'm very happy with what I came up with. Some of the prints I was not happy with my color combinations, but I'm still experimenting with color, so I'm not always going to like it, and I'm okay with that. So in the next couple of weeks I plan to do more jelly printing and more collage. So please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell because you don't want to miss it. Don't forget to create, inspire, and share, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.